Welcome to another edition of Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. So yes, we are ready. Should have a very interesting guest this morning. So I look forward to that, Nigel Francis as well. And I know you, the listeners. So let's roll now. An official welcome to all of you, wherever you are at this time. Welcome to Connecting the Dots on DBS Radio. Yes. Okay, so Nupawe, good morning, family again. Makum again, Kope, Voisin, Medveye, Nigel, I tend to see that. Medpale, everybody, Etel, Kumauye. Let me see if I can put things in place. I have to be like, what? Yeah, I have to do my own vibes there today. Okay, so we are ready. Welcome one, welcome all. DBS Radio in the Ted Daily Studio. I greet you this Saturday. Ivona John Baptist Lugie and Nigel Francis. We are set for Connecting the Dots. Let me say good morning, family. Nigel Francis, good morning. Where are you? How are you, Nigel?
Hey, what's up?
Yeah, I cool, you know. I didn't know, Nigel.
How we doing? You
doing
played
fine.
technician this morning?
Well, let me see if you're on it, boy. You checking the vibes for Nigel?
Yes. I was just checking to see if we're on. I see the YouTube looking good, so we're good.
So what the book saying?
Julie London already say good morning. Elizabeth Thomas, good morning. Let me see if the book running all right too. Let me see. Yes.
You seen us on the book?
Yes, we look like we're live on the book as well. Okay. So good morning to you, Alicia Griffith. Very early. Good morning, Ivona, and she wants to tell you belated birthday greetings.
Oh yes, thank you.
She missed your birthday, so that's not good, Alicia. But anyway, that's all good.
Yeah.
You know. Yes, and of course, Grand Rising to you as well, Miguel Murphy and everybody else. Grand Rising.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah.
Sandra Norris, good morning.
Okay. Sonia Williams, people like that always on, you know. Snapper,
yes.
Alicia Estate, you know, Glenda Shillingford Peters.
We haven't seen the part-time producer yet, but good morning, wherever he is.
Talking about the part-time producer, I think about 2 Saturdays ago, he sent me a video clip, Nigel. What was happening at the time? But you were being interviewed, sort of. You were saying something on gosh, I'm trying to remember. Nigel, what was happening? Remind me, refresh my memory. You know I old, you know.
You're getting older.
Yes, you know. Let's fill up a fork, eh? Yes, Nigel, but I was so pleased to see you. What were you doing again? What day was it? What was happening?
What was happening? I think what was happening might have been during our independence celebration here.
Okay, could have been. It was about 3 or 4, you know.
Yes, ago. So I was actually interviewed on CBS, which is the local television station.
Nigel, will and come again. Say that again for me there. Let me get that.
Yes, so I was actually interviewed on the local television station here, CBS, on the independence celebration and why it's important, and you know, the celebration of it at a particular park called Bayfront Park. So out of the thousands, I don't know how they end up with me now, but it seems like the media follows me. So yes, so I was here on national television.
Yes, Papa.
Doing an interview.
Yes. And that's what you're well known for, eh? So
they find me. They found me somewhere.
There's an energy. They felt something, man. What?
Yeah, they feel the vibes, man. So they wanted to connect. They wanted to connect the dots. So I connected with them well, you know, and represented the best I could.
Way to go, Nigel. I really love it. I enjoyed it. I was just waiting for a lot more, you know. So me, I said, you relax. I crossed my legs. I waiting for, you know, like 15 minutes or something like that. But it was good. It just,
yes. It's all good, representing the best way that we can. By the way, I sent you a flyer. I sent you a message, but I should have sent it to you earlier in the week. But I'm pretty sure she's going to know about that. But
I guess you didn't. When you send a message today?
This morning. Yes. Late message. But I should have sent it earlier to you. So
I hope
let
he's
me,
not
of
something to do
course,
with SMA. I hope he's not. So,
you,
what
you
is
get
that?
it?
What am
You
I
get
saying
it?
there? Now? That young man with their crest. Nigel, what's happening?
You got it, right?
Yes, I got
Okay.
it.
Yes. So, as you know, Janice
Oh, the
Williams,
Swinging
who we
Johnny
had as our
Scholarship
guest.
Foundation. Okay, yes, yes.
Yes, yes. So
So
this
she's
morning is the
continuing,
ceremony.
right? Yes.
This morning is the ceremony, the
Yes.
presentation of the
At the
scholarships this
Flamboyant
morning
Hotel.
at
Yeah.
Flamboyant Hotel. Yes, and she felt and the committee felt it was nice to recognize me. So let me say thank you to
Yes, sir,
them,
boy.
since one of the scholarships will be in my name. So thank you to Swingers Janice Foundation for recognizing my contributions to
I'm
the
happy. I'm
Dominica
happy for
Grammar
this.
School,
I'm happy for this, Nigel.
DGS.
Yes, yes,
Yes. So
yes.
thank you, thank you, thank you. And DGS, thank you for the time that I spent at DGS and did what had to be done. So
So you see that 3 times.
DGS this morning is for
4
you.
times. Go ahead, continue. I'm just continuing.
Yeah,
The
I'm
amount
so
of...
sure. Yes, Dominica Grammar School, really helped to shape me as well.
Of
Created
course,
the
of course.
identity.
Yeah.
And, with all what I got from SMA, the foundation that was laid at SMA, I was able to continue to utilize that at the Dominica.
Okay. Okay, Nigel. Yeah.
I was able to use what I
He's
got
the
from the
smart
SMA.
one. He's the smart one. It's okay, Nigel. Have your fun, Nigel. Have your fun. It's okay.
But yeah, but big up to Janice, man, and the
Yeah.
committee.
Oh yeah,
and
she has
Grammar
been doing this
School,
for
what
a
she's
number of
doing.
years. Yeah.
We've been talking about giving back,
Mm-hmm.
and that's a
Yes.
prime example of
Yes,
giving
that's
back
a good way to give back. And
to your alma mater.
yes, and let us also shout out Cheryl Plummer as well, who is giving back in a big way for quite a few years now. The backpacks and the other items for school. So hats off to people like this.
Yes. And to all the others who are giving back, especially during, when you want to give back to your school, whether it's supplies.
We normally give back as well. We normally give back.
Mentorship. I know your class
Yes.
also
We also have
well,
backpacks and all of that.
Yes. It's always nice when you can give back, man, to your alma mater.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
let me say big up to everybody who's in that. By the way, all the SMA students, don't forget your contributions are still being sought. But to all the schools. But this morning is for Janice and Grammar School.
Yes,
so
as we begin, Nigel, as well, talking about giving back, let's just extend as well our condolences to the family of the late Gary Ed. For a while now, he has contributed immensely, and of course he passed. He has contributed to national development in so many areas, in so many ways. But I was just saying, for a while now, we're extending condolences to families and friends, and this is more than a habit. Because in recent time, Nigel, in recent years, so many deaths. It's like every day you go on social media, you're just seeing that somebody died. And so it feels like we are being repetitive, but it is the reality.
Yeah, it is the reality. And it is, and especially when it's people that you kind of know personally or you've had some connection with. As we know, today will be the funeral of, Jeffrey Brisbane as well. So that happens the next couple of hours. And Gary Ed. Gary Ed is someone that, my family know very personally, because my mom was there with him. And, he provided so much to so many Dominicans.
Oh, yes, a significant contribution.
He really
to
provided to so many Dominicans. So it's a personal connection. And, Nicole, my, niece, mom worked with him for so many years as well. So many people who I know will have stories of Gary and how he helped them.
And he ensured... Go ahead, Nigel.
Yeah. No, I was going to say, people always mention that you would go to Ubi Church and, whether you were short a couple cents or whether you, you were unable to pay for the groceries at the time or you had to come back, he would not turn you away.
Yes, because he would always be making his rounds in the supermarket. So he was always, you could feel his presence every time. He was always there.
And he would make sure that you did not leave there without something if you could not.
Yes.
Or something went wrong. He would ensure that you still left with the groceries. So, it was a matter of business. But that humanity was there, so definitely
connection with the people.
A good man.
And he ensured that the legacy of what was set by the pioneers of HHV Church, which started in many moons ago in Nigeria, maybe 1910 or thereabouts.
Yes. Yeah, which has been around for a while and continue that.
Yes, and it became a multifaceted enterprise. And, thanks largely to Gary Ed. Sponsored so many major events, assisting the less fortunate, very community-oriented, and the list goes on and on and on,
Oh, yes.
Nigel, by the way, I was talking about this. Can you recall what many people would flock to each church for back in the day around Christmas time? Let me see if you're smart today.
They would go to witches
Around
back
Christmas time, around December,
around
maybe
Christmas
January
time.
even. Tell me, Nigel. Let me see if anybody
man.
is answering this question already. Anybody can tell me what, we used to flock to which church for. My grandmother would tell me to go and get it. My mother would tell me to go and get it.
I'm going to be like, oh, yeah. Let's see. Yes. Hey, help me on the book now, by the way.
Somebody help us on the
book.
book.
What is it that we used to flock to which church for around Christmas time?
Not only which church, but I mean which church in particular. When you get the answer, you'll understand what I'm talking about.
Yes.
Nigel, the calendar. Can't you remember the calendar? Always had that historical feel to it.
Yes, that calendar.
Yes. Nigel, remember that? So you had a lot of pictures of back in the day,
calendar, man.
So, that was a treasure to collect the calendars of it. And still, they still have this.
Yes. You have to make sure you put up that calendar in a special place.
And the calendar would stay there for years, though. Even if the year had elapsed, the calendar would go on, staying there for years. It was a historical keepsake. So imagine that on your partition. Yeah, calendar.
Yes, it was part of the decor. Part of the decorations in the house.
Yeah, but rest in eternal peace.
That's
Gary Ed. Yes. And today as well, Nigel, there is an official funeral for former parliamentarian. I'm trying to remember his full name. I think it's Thomas Etienne,
right?
Of Darrius, yes. We served as Minister of Agriculture, Lands, and something else, and cooperatives. Yes, under the administration of Ioli Blas. So that was very long ago. So he's been laid to rest. We'll be bringing live coverage of the funeral in Darrius. And so at about 5 to, or not, well, even earlier than that, Nigel?
Yes, we'd have to wrap
make
up.
Make way for this, for the broadcast, yes. And condolences as well, too, because I was looking yesterday morning, I saw condolences as well to this retired superintendent of prisons, Mr. Blah. I'm trying to remember his name as well. Dennis Alphonse Blah.
Dennis.
Yes.
Is it Dennis?
Yes,
No,
Dennis. I think it's Dennis Alphonse Blah. I used to call him Dab.
Right.
Yes. So he passed as well.
Definitely so. Yes.
Yes.
And condolences to him and the family, and to Mrs. Blah, and to he had a son out there in London. Of course, we went to grammar school as well. I don't remember the name is slipping me now, but
you said grammar school, so that's good.
Yes. He went to the grammar school. Yes, there are quite a few people who went to the grammar school.
Of course, the Dominica Grammar School.
I'm closely associated with as well.
Yeah, if you had to go back and give a list of the people who would have attended this school, a lot has changed at the Dominica Grammar School. Back in the day, that was just the best and everything, but. A lot of, nurtured a lot of young people who have made, big contributions, not just here, but the world over.
Yes.
So Nigel,
sometimes I wonder, as we get ready for our guest, sometimes I wonder if people still feel like the schools are making that kind of contribution like they did before. I don't know.
Interesting question, man.
Might be something to look at.
We need to have a discussion on this.
Yeah,
yes. Yes, a lot has changed, and yes, we have to advance, we have to move forward. Yes, we cannot just keep, looking back all the time. As I say, it's a wonderful place, of reference, not a place of residence. But, Nigel, I would like to have a discussion on this. I would give my views on this.
Yes, you give your 2 cents on that one there, right?
I can give plenty 2 cents there. I can make some dollars there. But Nigel, on another note though, I just want to thank you and thank Elise as well for the brown outfit that you sent me. So when I put it on, Nigel, I fit in well, but I just look like, like a tree without leaves because it's so close to my complexion and that kind of a thing. So I have to get some sequins probably too. Superimpose some sequins on it, so people can see there's a person. But nice, really pretty. I know it wasn't you alone who did it, so thanks, Elias.
Add some sequins to the thing, and you'll be all right.
Yes. See me like a susu clay or something like that. Nigel,
so they can get you from afar.
Yes.
They'll see you from afar and know that is you.
You will feel the pool like an electric pool, because so many sequins, so much glitter on this, Hey, Nigel, we have a guest, but let's go to the Dominica corner quickly.
Yes. Let's do that.
And I hope the guests can take notes because, the focus is on Dominica more or less. Nigel, you quickly name 5 local bands. I mean,
5 local bands.
they could be past or
CK,
present.
CK, Swinging Stars, Midnight Groovers, Signal Band, Serenade. I give you some mix of both and two.
Whoosh. Okay, yeah, okay. All right. We could go on to 10.
Don't worry, Triple K, if I don't call your name. It's 5 years.
How old is the Swinging Stars band?
Boy, I know the Swinging Stars is 50 plus. Let me see. Swinging Stars started all the way. Swinging Stars started like in 60 something. So Swinging Stars must be like.
Not in the 50s, then late. Not 59.
Yeah, but 59 when they left SMA.
They were the Swinging Teens, and I think, and then they became Swinging Stars.
And then they came to Swinging Stars, yes. So so they must be like what? Over 63 years thereabouts.
I'm thinking.
Yes, so it's close to 63 years. Yeah, 163, man.
56. Anyway. Nigeria 69 is 15. So why is that 63 now?
But they started
so it's like a 66 or 56.
But you say 59, okay. So 59 plus 41 is going to be 2,000 plus 25. So 25 plus 41 is how much I want to.
Nigel, leave me alone. Nigel, leave me alone, supple. Okay, let me see. 55.
Yeah, count on your fingers. Count on your fingers.
Boy, something close to 70, 75. Nigel, let's leave that alone. Next question.
Help her. 41 plus 25.
You know you're to embarrass me. You know me and Mafu doesn't link. Nigel, next question. Name 5 popular bakeries we had back in the day.
Back in the day?
Yes.
Why?
5 popular bakeries.
5 popular. You had Jake's. Suki. That one had it. Jake's, Suki. What that a bakery up by the cemetery up there? You help me, Ollie, please.
By the cemetery.
Can somebody help me?
Okay, we had Panna's Bakery.
Yes.
Panna, that was in Queen Mary Street in my yard.
In your yard,
yes,
in your area.
We had Mr. Willie. You remember Mr. Willie Bakery?
Mr. Willie! Yes, man. Yes, man.
Right, we had Mr. Willie Bakery. You remember where it was?
By Hillsborough Street.
But before Hillsborough Street, I think, though. I can remember as a little girl going down to close to AC Shillingford supermarket next.
Yes.
Was it there, Nigel, around that area?
Yes.
Yeah,
there was,
man.
yes.
I remember that.
Thank you. Somebody tell me Eric's Bakery.
Oh, yes, Eric's Bakery as well. Yes.
Ruben's Bakery came after, but
yes.
Ruben's Bakery.
Yes. Raffles.
Yes. Thank you, Sulan.
Okay.
Sulan, thank you very much.
Okay.
And thank you, Cecile Shillingford, Celestine Cox. Thank you for giving me the answers.
Yes, sir.
See, my people helping me. Nobody can help you to tell you.
Nobody helped me to tell. Right, yes. You
Nobody has helped.
Yes, I got ranks.
What is 41 plus 25?
I have no ranks. It's okay. It's okay. Okay, last question now. Okay, where in Dominica is Emil Serrant from, and what is his nickname?
Well, Emil Serrant will tell you without no reservation that he's from the capital. But no, Emil Serrant is from Mao. Good morning to you, Emil Paben QT Serrant.
QT?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't know that one.
Yes. They started calling him QT after another play that he did the first.
Oh, okay. Yes.
And he played the part of QT, and then of course Paben came from when he did the play with Alex.
Yes, I remember.
So whatever part he plays in the play becomes his name.
Okay.
So Paben QT Serrant, Emil, good morning to you, and of course all of those in Maho, good morning to you as well. Somebody help you, by the way, Marvin Brady.
Oh, you see. I must look at the book more, you know. I just they're busy doing other things.
6 years. So somebody eventually.
You see, I was on point already 6 at the end. It has to be a 60 something. It has to be a 6 something 6.
You are the first one, 6.
Because I check it. Yeah. Anyway. Yes, boy, Nigel.
So you are on point with that one. Yes,
okay.
yes.
So Nigel, it's time now.
Let me see what YouTube.
Go ahead. Oh yes. Let's see who's on quickly. Let's see who's on quickly.
But let me see very quickly.
I gave the guests the house rules already. I let the guests understand how we like to talk.
Yes, okay. Yes, so Elizabeth Thomas, good morning. Happy Saturday. See to the family. Ivona Nigel, always loving the blues you have today. Ivona, you have the light when I can have it dark.
Boy.
Congratulations, Nigel, on your award. And thank you to the Swinging Giants Foundation for all the continued efforts in giving back to DGS. and the other schools. Well done. So yes, thank you so much for that.
Yeah.
Let's see. I have a few others, but let's bring in our guest,
Yes,
because
Nigel.
he has a
Yes.
beautiful story and journey to
Man,
tell.
yes, if all we're going to sit down and listen,
And
I
by the
just.
way, I know where he disappeared. Oh, I was like, he disappeared, man.
Oh, okay.
But and I
So,
know there's one person that's going to. You have to.
E
Somebody tell me
Papa,
to for you.
I should even give
Somebody
him
tell me to tell you to make sure you check your telephone because they have to call in. And
Okay,
if they
Papa.
don't call in,
Yes.
so you know who that is.
Yes,
So
okay.
yes, I know he's going to call in.
Yes, he'll
And
call
he
in.
tell you to check the phone when he's ready to call in.
Okay, I'll check the phone because there's a big red light that comes on when the phone line. You
Well,
know,
yes,
so
I told him you don't have to look.
yes,
at
gone
the
are the
thing,
days when you have to
should
look.
flash.
It's for a while now, years now. You know, a big
Remember those
light.
days?
It's something
Yes,
that's even
yes.
fright
Remember those
soon.
days we had to be looking
Yes.
at this phone.
Yeah, gone are those days. So Nigel, one of the highlights
You
of
have a big siren light.
yes, and sometimes it can frighten you. You just see a big light just coming and like checking, but what is happening there? Anyway, so one of the highlights of connecting the dots for us is making the connection with the guest. So when we arrive at that point, prior to the program, before the flyer is done, the points where we have to ask them for a picture. And the biggest takeaway for me is making the family connection, and having a conversation as part of the planning process. So I did that. In fact, we had a 3-way connection with Emil and Darrius, and I learned a lot about Darrius through that 3-way call with his dad, Nigel. And while he was born in the United States to 2 Dominican parents, his story and what he's doing now and even where he is will sort of put into context the resilience of our people and the ability to find comfort in any part of the world and be able to make their mark in different ways, in so many ways. And I know, Nigel, we're going to enjoy today's discussion. So I really look forward. I'm well seated. I feel comfortable. I'm not hot today, so I'm ready. So, Nigel, bring him on.
Yes, I know you're ready for him. And like you say, I mean, making the connection is so important for us. Wherever Dominicans are, we make sure we make that connection, whether they're born in Dominica or not, but that connection is there.
Yeah, man.
And of course, the young man that will tell us his story and, how the connection goes and everything else. The last time I saw him, he was playing, I want to see if it's not the saxophone, or the piano or something, but he did a presentation for us here in Florida when the Honorable Vince Henderson was here many, many years ago.
He's a young man that day. You say not like he's a young man, right?
That's to show you he was
he was okay.
Even
I understand.
Younger then.
It's not my fault.
And he did that presentation, that musical interlude for us.
Okay.
So it's happy to have him in the connection. When we find out he's very, very far. He's very far, but yet still he's here with us to make that connection. Darrius Serrant, good morning to you. Welcome to Connecting the Dots. We appreciate you connecting from far out there. Of course, you'll tell us where you are and what time it is and all that good stuff. But welcome to this program, Connecting the Dots. How are you this morning, my friend?
I'm very good. I'm very honored to be with you today. Can you hear me clearly?
Yes, we can hear you.
Well, I can hear you. Can you hear him clearly, everyone?
Yes, I can hear him. It's okay. It's all right. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Excellent. Yes, we can hear you. So, of course, how's your Saturday going so far before we get into the program? How's your Saturday?
It's going very nicely. Right now, it is actually 8. It's actually night time right now where I am. It's about 11. There's an 11-hour time difference between your current local time. Right, so it's actually evening.
So it's evening. So good evening to you, and of course, good morning to the others listening.
Yes.
So of course, Darrius is all the way in Thailand. Yes, all the way in Thailand. And it's evening, Ivona, but of course, he made sure that he could connect with us still at that point in time. 11-hour difference, but he's there with us.
Yes, Nigel, I just imagine this, So I had a stepdaughter who lives with me. She was studying in China. For many, many years, she studied in China. And just imagine, the time difference, and having to connect and my train having to stay up to just talk to her. But, luckily for technology, they would just like have her on. You'd even see her sleeping and all of that. So Yeah, it's not
Yeah,
like
that's what
before.
technology has been
Yes,
able to do
tell
for
you.
us, man. You know
Yeah,
what I mean? So
man.
we can connect no matter what time or where we are, you know?
Yes,
Yes.
yes.
So that's a wonderful thing.
Okay, so let us find out who he is, Nigel. I hope you.
Yes. So
Yes.
Darius, tell us a little bit about you in terms of, first of all, of course, you know, I mean, where you're born and then the parents and so on, and then we get into the discussion.
Yep.
So I was born in Avon Park, Florida, in 1990 to my parents, Dominican-born parents, Melinda Mary Pinard Serrant and Emil what you call Paben Serrant. Right. So I was born there in Avon Park. I've lived in Florida my entire life at that point. Yep. So yeah, that's as far as where I've come from, where I was born. In terms of how
So
far do you want me to?
even before you go there, Darius. So born to Emil, Sarah, and Mary and Mary Pinard.
Yes.
How do you say good morning in do you call it Thailand? I wanna excuse me, but in that particular language, what first of all, what do this is it Thai or Thai? What would you say? Like how we say English or Spanish? What would you say?
Good morning. Right. So in Thailand, the national language is Thai.
Okay.
And to say good morning, there's a couple what you say Sawadi Don Chow.
What?
Right?
Say
Sawadi Don Chow.
Nigel,
I
try.
wanna love those
Nigel, try.
languages.
Try, Nigel. Say it.
Say
Sawadi.
it one more time.
Sawadi Don Chow.
Sawadi Don Chow.
Sawadi Don Chow.
Yeah, Sawadi Don Chow. You see, I wanna.
Okay, go on,
You know,
that.
your turn.
I think I can't say that, you man.
Your turn.
No, I don't say that. Sawadi don't show. Nah. Anyway, but say it again. Say it slowly. Say it slowly.
Sawadi Don Chow.
Okay. All right. So we'll say bonjour.
Sawadi Don Chow.
How are you?
Right, so,
We'll say wago and things like that. And just imagine
right, so
what
now
I
you know
say.
that. Okay.
Yes.
So you would say.
Right. So easier one, you could just say hello, which is just Sawadi Krap, or if you're a man, or Sawadi Ka if you're a woman. Right?
Okay. So Nigel, you see after the program, I'm going to
Wait,
listen to it again and write down
hold on, because that's why we connect, you know. That's why we connect, and I'm so happy we're having this. So Sawadi Khan, you say is for the male or for the female?
Sawadi Krap. Right. So Sawadi is hello. Now, there's different ending particles that you use depending on if you're your gender. So for a male, you say krap, and if you're a female, you say ka.
Okay.
Krap. Okay.
So it's a way of adding politeness to phrases. So usually when you're speaking Thai, when the Thai speak with each other, they use these particles as a way of being polite. It's just a feature of the language, right? So they often end their krap or ka.
Okay. So how do you say good morning?
So good morning, Sawadi Don Chow.
Okay. So. Oh, good
Sawadi
morning.
Don Chow, and hello is just like you just say Salawi can or kam depending on the gender.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
I was going to ask him how to say something if I leave that alone.
So this has been our Thai language connection for this morning. We hope you've learned a word or two. And at the end, when we're telling him goodbye, he'll tell us how you say goodbye. So, by the way, but you speak Thai fluently, right? I mean, you're able to have a conversation.
I'm able to have a conversation in Thai. I would say I am somewhat conversational in my ability to communicate with Thai. I can have conversations with my Thai language instructors. I can have conversation with people if needed. Just give you an example. For just the other day, there was an issue with my account at the bank. I had to spend some time communicating the issue that I had in Thai, and I was able to do that fairly well. There are things that I don't know, and I'm still learning to do it. But for my daily life, I can communicate in Thai very, very quite proficiently. I can read at an intermediate level. I can make myself understood and people understand me very well. No, yeah. But yeah, for most of my daily life situations, I can communicate quite well in it. Yeah. But then there's also a lot of stuff I need to learn. That I'm at a level, let's just say that I'm at a level in my communication that far exceeds what most foreigners that live in Thailand can do. In fact, most foreigners actually don't really learn Thai to a bigger depth because in Thailand, it's the life is very comfortable here. I mean, there's a lot of people in the native population in the urban areas that can speak English. Like there are a lot of people in the service areas, so it's very easy to be in a situation you don't even really need to communicate in Thai. But so yeah, I'm at a level where I can actually do that quite well, and I have done that in several moments, and I've traveled to different places. There only no English was spoken, and I was able to get through just fine. I talked to immigration officers in Thai, and I had no issues. Yeah.
Man, that is, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. That's, I mean, and in addition to that, I think he also speaks other languages.
I think he's a language polyglot, right?
Yes,
Darrius?
he speaks Spanish, he speaks Chinese.
Wow. Nigel, let's get some lessons in here today.
I've studied both of those languages and great depth. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And you
Although I don't really speak Spanish and Chinese all that much because I'm away from the countries now. But yeah, when I was immersed in the cultures and I was studying it, when I studied those things, I definitely could speak it, and I had a good time interacting.
Wow.
No, really very little problems interacting with people. Yeah.
But was it difficult for you to learn Thai, or did you do your research, even before you went to Thailand? How did you adapt to this? And especially in the field that you are, I mean, with all those technical terms, how did you make this part of you? And wait, just now, before you answer this question, in terms of your camera, we're not seeing Nigel. I'm not sure if you're seeing the top of his head, so just adjust the camera
okay.
somewhat.
So you probably want to go back a little.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Well, a little. Yeah. That's better. Okay. So I was asking about in terms of how you had to cope with this and adapt to this to get it to perfection. Sort of. Was it a difficult start for you in terms of the process?
No, I didn't find it awfully difficult. After you learn your first foreign language, the rest of them kind of gets easier to do. So my first foreign language that I spent time learning was Spanish. It was something I started learning when I was in teenager in high school. After my initial lessons taking it in high school, I decided I really wanted to commit it to learning it. And I knew it would be beneficial for me to do it because in Florida there's a big diaspora of Spanish speakers from all the different types of Latin American countries, and I really wanted to have foster some connections with them and really be able to communicate with them. So I spent some time. I took some self-study programs. I learned Spanish that way. I continued to learn it through my university studies. When I was I went to school at the University of Miami in Coral Gables, Florida, right? And while I was there, I minored in modern languages, and the modern language I chose was, of course, Spanish. So during that time, that was when I started to further perfect my fluency in Spanish. I actually even I spoke with. Communicated with a lot of the janitors and the staff that worked there, that they also spoke Spanish, right? And I even at one point even went and studied abroad in Costa Rica. I spent all of December, the Christmas time, in the University of Costa Rica. I took written literature courses in Spanish, fully in Spanish. I had to write papers in Spanish. I had to read representation in Spanish. Right? So that was where I attained a very high level of fluency in the language. So I was quite comfortable in it. And during throughout my experience of learning the language, I've learned it helped me get a sense of how language and how words and sentences are formed. So I already had a very good basis of how it works. So when it came to learning a new language, like for example, Mandarin Chinese and now eventually Thai, I already had an experience learning the language, learning how it works, learning how to kind of structure it in a way. And so I didn't really have too much of a time to do it. It was the main thing was just mainly scheduling the time to do it, mainly being committed to doing that. And, of course, it got difficult here or there because of work commitments and things like that. But yeah, as long as I felt that as long as I put the time in, and as long as I have the mindset to actually put in the effort to do it, I know I never really found that there was any problems in actually learning it. Yeah. So because I think with many people, one of the challenges is just thinking that staying motivated to do it and believing that you can. So many of people around me, even today, have a very low bar, set a very low bar for themselves and what they can accomplish. And they often cut themselves short before they can actually really achieve anything, even in spite of certain difficulties they have. That's never really been a problem for me. I've always felt that I can accomplish anything I put my mind to. And then sure, there might be some difficulties in, but I've always felt that as long as I stay committed to it, I can always achieve whatever I want. And so it was the same. That was the case for me of learning Spanish, and it was the same case for me learning Chinese and Thai. Yeah.
Okay, wow. Interesting.
Man,
how much do
this is a proud young man.
Yes.
I wonder that, I mean, you can see, you can hear, how focused and disciplined that is, and more importantly, how, well spoken in different areas. I know we have to get into, what he's doing now and everything else, but I'm fascinated by the language thing. I've always been fascinated by languages. And, so I know I won't have plenty of questions for you, but before she asks you the other one, you just told us good morning in Thai. How do you say good morning in Mandarin or in Chinese?
Yeah, so it's Zao Shang Hao.
I'm gonna you listening because you have to say it after.
Nigel, mind me. I'm not saying that, boy.
Go say it again, Darrius.
Zao Shang Hao.
Sound Shang.
No, Nigel. You're far from it.
Kisa,
say it
again, one more time, and I'm going to say it in a few man.
Zao Shang Hao.
Sound.
Zao. It's Zao, Nigel. It's Zao.
It's Zao. Zao.
Yeah, Zao.
Mm-hmm.
Shang.
Mm-hmm.
Hao.
Okay. I will know your turn.
Zao Shang Hao.
Zao Shang Hao.
Let's make that alone, eh? Zao Shang Hao.
I love it.
No, seriously, but you have to. I love the language though, because you have to flex your muscles whenever you speak.
Yeah,
you speak it.
And I think there's
you have to have a movement in your mouth and your jaws, and everything has to work in unison.
You probably have to put your jaws. Yes, to get that kind of tonal inflection thing that you have to have. Yeah, I think that's.
But
what
we can come back to this. But I want to find out about his childhood days. I want to go back. I can remember visiting Fabian in Florida once, and Fabian and we had gone on a spree. We had gone at his home, and I met his boys. So I would have met him, and I just, he was very smaller then. So when Fabian calls, we'll talk about that. But let's go back to, how he grew up, what type of, young man he was, little boy back then he was, and what were his interests, and things like that. So that's where we want to go, Darrius. Let's go back to, say, 7, 8, going up that ladder.
Okay.
So what can you remember about yourself? And I want to find out as well how much you know about Dominica. Yeah, so we'll get to that. But tell us about your boyhood days.
Well, my childhood was very I'd say it was very safe. It was very secure. I grew up, as I mentioned before, I grew up in Florida. So originally I was born in Avon Park. I spent the first couple of years in Avon Park. Then my mother and my father decided to move over to Pompano Beach, it's deeper, further south into South Florida. I went to school at Palmview Elementary School, right? So it was from kindergarten all the way to grade 5. I would say that my childhood even from there was very disciplined. Both my mother and father put a lot of importance on the quality of education. So there was, they always encouraged me and to, take my studies seriously. I was always asked to read books. Whenever we had some time off in school, I was either going to summer school or doing some math problems. They were really strong on me being very good and taking school seriously. If I did bad at school, they're always proactive and help me solve these issues. So say that they were very hands-on in my education, my formulation years, and I was from that point that I really got the sense the sense of importance of education and on excellence, on doing good work. I think say I got that from both my parents. Right?
Let me tie this in. Let
Mhm.
me tie this in terms of, so now that you are grown and you look back and you think about it in terms of how your parents ensured that you were disciplined, they were strict at times. Have you ever made the connection with like Dominica in that sense? Were you like telling yourself at some point, oh, I guess that's how Dominicans raise their children or something like that? Was there any connection in the way you were brought up, in reference to Dominica? Have you ever thought about
Um,
it? Because you were born in the U.S., your parents are from Dominica, from the Caribbean. Have you ever thought about it in terms of how you were brought up, how you were raised, and the respect you had to have, and the discipline and all of that? Have you ever tied it to Dominica and say, okay, that's how they are, in that part of the world?
at the time when I was younger, no, I didn't. I didn't. I didn't connect it back then. I knew that for sure. I knew that my parents were from Dominica. My father certainly never made me forget that I was a Dominican. He always told me that you're Dominican. You're Dominican. Don't forget that. You're but you're a Dominican. You're a Dominican American.
I
So
can
he
see
always
it.
he never let me forget. So it was we were yeah. So my roots to Dominica, my ties to it were firmly ingrained in my mind.
That's what I wanted to get.
I never really connected that to the structure and the discipline to be part of a Dominican identity. It was not really until I was much older, and I looked back into I did some historical studies. I looked into how people live, where I realized that it is this aspect of being a very well spoken, well functional, high functional person is a big trait, especially in Eastern Caribbean cultures, particularly in our part. The people they pride our culture prides ourselves in being very respectful, being very hardworking, being very high functioning, right? So now that I've had that context now from having learned that, now I can actually look back into my child experiences. I can see where that comes from. The motivation to respect other people, respect elders, respect authority figures, to take school very seriously, to do all those things. I know that definitely had a lot to do with my upbringing, and the upbringing of the larger Eastern Caribbean cultures, but more specifically to Dominica, I guess.
That's what I was
Yes.
looking for, that connection. That's what I was looking for.
Yes,
Thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes,
Yeah.
definitely. So, would you consider yourself to have been like a troublesome during in early school, like in elementary and high school, or were you just always pretty much on the straight and narrow?
I was on the straight and narrow almost my entire life. I mean, I never intentionally caused issues with anyone. And in fact, if anything, my goal was to always be the one that was exemplary, to be the one that always does the things that other people, were expected of them, or even go beyond that. I prided myself as being the student that listens to the teacher, that actually does the work, that actually pays attention, while the other students were kind of goofing off. It's kind of I kind of formed an identity on being that. And because my mother and my father put a lot of importance on education, that's what I looked towards that as being the way that as a very important way of formulating my future success. I know that for a common complaint and a common experience that most kids have during that age is that they find that school is boring, that school, at school is boring. It doesn't relate to me. Why do I need to do all this extra work? But I never really had that problem with it. I was always on board to kind of studying hard and going through the process. And I trusted that if I listen to the teachers, if I do my work, if I put in the effort and I go above and beyond expectations, I will excel. I always I put a great effort into learning these things because I've always felt that um, because I always looked at school as a way of experiencing more, experiencing more things, getting more out of it. I didn't just look at it as a means to the end of passing days. I also looked at it as a way to really develop myself into something greater. There was always this vision I had of my future that this is not just something that kids do. This could be potentially lead me to having greater opportunities. And I looked at it as a way. I took that attitude to every subject I did. Math, English, science, music for performance, and band, and every. I never limited myself to saying that okay, this is my subject. I can only do this subject well, and I can't do everything else well. I took the attitude saying, okay, everything is possible for me. I can do whatever I thought to do. And my goal in every single my classes when I was younger, and even as I grew up, was to try to excel in as many classes as I can. Of course, that led me to kind of being very critical of myself and beating up, being overly putting a lot of overly pressure on myself. But that I felt that was very important for me to do at the time. Yeah, so that was kind of like I was. So towards that end, I never got into any trouble with my teachers. I never got into any fights with any of the kids or anything like that. Anything that any issues that would come up, it would certainly not be because of anything that I did. Oh. And even when my parents eventually had to separate for their own reasons, and my mother had to go in and and my father and my parents were separate, but still working together. There are days where my mother would be working on her own, and my father would be helping here or there. But even then, they didn't have to worry about me scoofing up at school or getting a call from a teacher and saying, "Oh, Darrius, Darrius did such this bad thing" or something like that. And you never had to worry about me because I was always on board of doing well, and being a good person, and being a well-rounded, very functioning person. Yeah. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
It sure does. It sure does. It sure does. That you were not the one to be running around not doing what you're supposed to be doing. That definitely, Yeah, it answers that. What about sports or any other other activities, or were you more into band, or were you also involved in other sporting activities?
Well, I wasn't very much of a sports person, unfortunately. I know, and I know that was something my father really tried to get me into. Like he was really big. I know in my childhood, he was really big into sports, watching basketball and football and these things like that. And I know sometimes he would really encourage me to kind of watch, but unfortunately, it wasn't really something I really took much joy into, especially since when I was younger. I think, especially amongst children my age, basketball was really competitive, right? And because I wasn't I had a very bad experience in not really being able to shoot the ball very well, and I got really, I got made fun of. So it kind of really turned me off to sports early. But I kind of focused more of my attention onto academics and doing really well at school.
I learned that. I was doing some research. I was just reading up last night. I learned that since you were a teenager, you knew that you wanted to code.
Yes.
Interesting,
yes.
Nigel.
Very interesting.
We don't even have to ask him where did the fascination for web development come from, because since a teenager, he just knew that he wanted to do this thing.
Yes, and of course, I know that's what he's doing now, which we're going to focus on in a little bit. I know, we're trying to itch everything we can because we have to leave at 5 to 11 this morning or something like that.
Even earlier.
But in terms of so you went to which high school? You said Palm Beach.
Okay, so I went to Palmview Elementary School.
Okay.
Then I transitioned over to Crystal Lake Community School, the middle school. So it's from grade 6 up until grade 8. Then I tested high enough to qualify to attend Atlantic Technical School. It's a very special school, high school, because they don't have for a couple of reasons. One thing is because they have a very special magnet program inside the school, where during your junior and senior years, you can actually study a vocation for half the time that you're in school. So a vocation could be like maybe auto AC repair or medical encoding or let's see, cooking culinary arts or auto mechanics, or in my case, computer programming or web design, web development, these things like that. So it's a very exclusive school. Only kids they're at the top of their classes that's tested out really well were able to attend. And the class size is actually very small. In fact, actually, my graduating class, there are only about 125 students in my graduating class. Right? And the entire population of students in the school is about just a little bit under 500 students. So you can see that compared to many other bigger high schools where it's like 2,000 students or many of these things. It's a very small, exclusive school that's designed to help people. It's designed to help students have a specialization in a vocation by the time they graduate from college, right? So yeah, that's what I was able to get into. And yeah, that was something I really wanted to do because I was always focused on this is what I already had a very clear mind that I wanted to kind of be prepared for myself for the future and into my career. So yeah, that I was always focused on that little school I wanted to go to, even from when I first heard about it, right? The school itself doesn't have some of the stuff that usual high schools have. Like for example, it doesn't have a band, it doesn't have a sports team or things like that. But I didn't care about that stuff. You know, that didn't matter to me because I knew that was what I wanted to do. I wanted to focus on something that was in the area that I wanted to go to. Yeah, so I didn't see that as being a loss. I know that there are a couple of students that felt like, oh, it's not a real school because it was these things, but I knew exactly what I was getting into for it, and the lack of stuff didn't bother me at all. Right, so yeah, that's kind of like how I started my career into programming. It was through this school itself. Yeah.
So do you still play any of the musical instruments?
I play every now and then, but it's not been a very big part of my life, at least in the recent years. But mostly it's just because of how busy I make myself. I would say I have to say I work too much. I really put a lot of pride in delivering good work, and that often makes me work longer than I really should. So that's really mainly why I don't really do it as much as I used to. But I've always thought about wanting to do it. I mean, in fact, I have it right here, my instrument here. It's every now and then I look at it like, man,
something went wrong, Nigel?
Oh, but again,
we are not seeing him though. We are not seeing him.
Yeah, I think we lost your video, Darrius.
Yeah.
We have the audio, but we lost it. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, that's in quick time. That's his vibes.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Okay. All right, we're back. All right. Yeah, it's going in and out in terms of the video, but that's okay. We can hear you, but it's going in and out. All right, we got you back now.
Okay, it could just be because of the quality of the connection.
Yeah, it could. Yeah, right. It could be that as well. So okay, so I know everyone is ready to get into what we're doing now and what happens. So you're through the high school and so from high school you go to what, to UM?
Yeah, University of Miami. Yes, I went there on a full scholarship. It was unexpected. It was something I wasn't expecting, a full scholarship, to be honest. I know that at the time there were a lot of the advisors and the counselors at Atlanta Technical Center. They were encouraging me to apply for the scholarship, and I said, I thought I didn't think at first I'll get it, because one of the qualifying factors of the scholarship is that I needed to overcome an adversity, and I'm thinking, what adversity do I have? I don't have any. There's nothing wrong with me. Like, I didn't count on adversity. My parents are separated, but come on, that's like everyone's. That's a common experience,
Right.
What adversity? And they kind of convinced me. It's like, okay, whatever. Okay, I'll do it. I'll write the letter, and then I'll ask for references from other people. And yeah, there was supposed to be, and so I submitted it, and there was supposed to be an interview that I had. They were supposed to call me and interview me and go through a process of that. but that didn't happen. So I'm thinking, okay, well, I obviously didn't get the scholarship, so I guess I'll just have to go and apply for financial aid. Like most the typical experience of students in America, you apply for financial aid, and then you have to pay. You have to take out loans every year, and then towards the end, you have to pay us all this huge amount of money. That's I was expecting that. I was expecting to have to go in and work part time and do all these things. That was what I was fully expecting, especially since, and I know it was going to be a really big undertaking because UM is very expensive. It's a very big, expensive private school. It's not like University of Florida where it's cheaper or more affordable. This is a big private school, so I knew I was gonna be in one heck of a ride for doing it. But then about 3 months before the term ended, I got a call from someone from the university and say, "Oh, you got the scholarship."
Wow.
Man,
Yeah.
that would have been a surprise, kind of, right? In a sense.
Yes, I was definitely not expecting that at all. I thought, okay, I'm just gonna have to pay for it. And a part of the reason why I decided to go to this school, to the university, is just I kind of wanted to go to a place where none of my other classmates were going to. It's not that I didn't like. It's not like I don't like my classmates. I was always very cordial with them. I was always very friendly with them. It was more like I kind of wanted to take my growth and my development in a different direction. I kind of want to put myself in a new experience where I'm going to a place where no one knows me. I kind of wanted to go and establish myself in a different spot. I mean, in fact, my twin brother, we were always together. We actually decided to go separate schools. We were always going to the same schools for almost our entire lives. And this was kind of one of the big points where we decided, okay, let's go a separate race. Let's go to different schools. So that was kind of part of that as well. And so, to find out that, so I purposely decided to go to a school that no one else was going to, because most of the students were going to University of Central Florida, University of Florida, they're like the fallback schools for most kids, right? So, so I decided, okay, well, so to find out that, okay, not only am I going to a different school that no one else is going to, but I'm also going on a full scholarship. I'm like, wow, okay. So
Wow.
that's what,
Interesting. Very interesting. You remember your first reaction when you were told that, the scholarship was given to you? Can you remember your first reaction? Did you take a deep breath, a deep sigh, and then said, thank you? Can you remember what it was like when you heard this?
Yeah. I was like, at first I was like, what? I got it. And then afterwards I got excited. As soon as I hung up the phone, I was like,
That's it. Of course, no, man. Of course. I like that, Nigel.
Yeah. Because getting a full scholarship here too, I mean, to UM, that's a big thing. That's a big deal. I mean, just getting the full scholarship alone is a big deal, much less to UM. So that's a big thing,
Right.
Yeah. So I know I'm going to mention that you got from very early, you decided this is your path. This is what you want to do. And then I'm guessing at UM, that's what you continued doing, right?
Yes. So I majored in computer science on the comprehensive track. The comprehensive track is basically basically a selection of all the major topic areas of all the different aspects of computer science.
Okay.
Computer science is a very big and broad field, and it basically theoretically encompasses everything that you can do, any kind of computational task that can be done using a computer. So that could include programming, that it could include, artificial intelligence, that includes robotics, things like that. So what that track was, it basically specializes in all the foundational topics and subjects that underpin all these different things, right? So that's what I studied. It was a more comprehensive track. So I did, studied topics in networking, writing algorithms, theoretical computational complexity theories, computer architecture, programming language theory, these things like that. Yeah, I've learned systems programming. I learned how to program using very low level programming languages. I learned different operating systems. So there's different types of computers. So it's like there's Windows, then there's Windows machines, and then there's Apple Mac machines, but there's also other ones called Linux. So I learned how to use those. I learned how to program in those. Honestly, so I did there's a whole bunch of stuff that I went into.
Wow.
Yeah, I did,
And
but
Nigel,
I
you say
didn't
this with
limit
a
myself.
passion, you know.
Yes. And let me say from the outset, and of course I've always told Pabe, but I mean, I'm proud of you because knowing you from a little boy running around in the house, in Pompano Beach and all the other places that you've lived, Sunrise and everywhere else, with your dad and running around and being there for meetings and gatherings and when he's doing plays with us and everything else. And, the young man that you've become. So, I'm proud of you and congratulations on that. Continued blessings on your journey, man. And of course, congratulations to your parents, and to Paben for raising you the way that they've done. This fascination, though, he talks about it with a passion, man. Like it's just, and so it's almost like it's second nature to him. And you've had that fascination. I don't know if you can pinpoint a part in your life, whether it was during school or whether you were just at home and you saw this computer. And can you recall like how that interest was sparked? How did you just fall in love, if you want, with computers and computer science and everything related to it?
Well, I guess it started when I received my first computer. I remember my mother buying it my mother and my father bought it for me as a present. I came home one day and I just found the computer sitting right there. So I started out not really knowing anything about how to use it. I mean, of course, I used computers at school. We did maybe we were on the IMAX Mac machines, and we did maybe like reading lessons and things like that, or reading programs like for 15 minutes or so. But that was really the first time that I really
own computer.
That I really owned it, and so it started with me just learning, just learning, sitting around and working with it, going on online. But you remember there was the times where there were dial-up connections at American Online and things like that.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so it started with that, and then that eventually brought to me learning how to copy and paste and learning how to do different things on a computer. So then it grew up to me spending hours of my day doing something on the computer. I mean, it's not necessarily playing games. I've always limited myself to playing games only on the weekends and things like that. So, but eventually it just grew to fascinated in learning how it worked, so trying to figure out what went wrong with the computer if something goes wrong, or even when I couldn't figure it out at all, someone coming and helping me fix a computer. It just eventually started learning how to do these little bits and pieces and things like that. And then eventually, I decided, that I really wanted to learn how to make my own programs. I wanted to learn how to make things with it. From there, I think it was around the latter part of my middle school time, I started learning how to program. So I bought a book that teaches you how to make a game using a very simple programming language called Blitz Basic. So I spent that time learning how to do that. And then from there, when I started learning, when I began taking my school lessons inside of my high school, one of the first more constant exposure to working with computers was my tech studies class, where we actually started learning how to use Office software, how to type, how to touch type, how to do all these things. So that even further improved my basic computer literacy up to a higher level. Right? So I learned how to touch type at about 60 words per minute. I learned how to use Microsoft Office programs. I learned how to do all sorts of different entry level career stuff that most people twice my age didn't even know how to do. Right, so I learned how to do it that way.
That's a fascination.
That was from there. We started getting into a prospect of, okay, what do you want? Part of the time we spent in that class was actually focusing on career skills. Like, okay, kind of figuring out what kind of tech study programs we wanted to do. And one of them I naturally started gravitating towards was programming. I wanted to learn how to make programs. I wanted to learn all these different languages. I want to do all these things so that I can kind of make cool things that people love using, right? So that was a path I set out to do. It was a path that my teacher at that time I was teaching in class, she was really hoping that I go into, because she really enjoyed me working with me as a student. And when she found out I was going to do that, she was really happy with it. Yeah, so
Oh, wow.
I guess that was kind of where it started. It kind of cultivated with me getting the first computer, and then over naturally through having to do different research projects and things like that. It just kind of actually evolved towards something that doing that.
You have
And
had
even before
moments.
that,
Yeah, go ahead.
what?
Go ahead. Go ahead. I'll ask you after.
Even before that, there were always, I knew there was a likelihood I was going to be in doing something either in a science or in an art. Like, so even before that, I wanted to become a scientist, some kind of scientist, or even, I even thought of becoming as far as art, I thought of being a cartoonist or being a graphic designer. So I knew I was going to do something related to computers, right? So I guess with computer science, right now I'm a computer scientist. So I guess in some one way or another, it kind of evolved
Angel.
into some kind of science,
I
right?
was
So
about to
yeah,
ask you
so
though, can you remember any moments when your parents would tell you, okay, give the computer a break because you were always on it after you
yeah, my
got your own
mother,
computer?
my mother, she's like, get off the computer.
Not knowing what is
Wow.
coming later on, right?
Mm, wow.
So, so for those who I mean, in the simplest way that you can, what does programming involve? When you say, all doing all these programs and writing all these languages, and tell us
Yes.
what's involved in
Yes.
that?
Yes. Class time.
I can tell you that very simple, man. It's
Yeah.
just basically telling a computer what to do. That's basically what it is.
Wow.
So computers look very smart, look very smart. They're very intelligent, look very complex, but actually, they need they actually needs very specific instructions. You need to tell them very explicitly. They follow a set of what to do. They follow a set of commands sequentially from start to finish. Um, and if you do it, you tell them what exactly to do and how exactly to do it in the right way, or else you make mistakes. So you have some things called bugs or programming bugs are basically mistakes that a computer makes, right? Because it wasn't programmed properly, faulty
Mm.
instruction. So a lot of the programmers' job, what a lot of what amounts to programming is basically writing instructions to a computer using a specified language, a special language that only they can understand, and doing it in a way that is not only that's not only logical, right, but that's also fault free. There's no mistakes in it. Right? So that's basically what it is. It's just basically telling computers instructions because if you don't tell them exactly what to do, they don't follow it properly. They're kind of dumb in a way, yeah. But that's what it really boils down to. It's just telling someone exactly what to do, and you have to be very exacting and very logical in it, right?
You have
So
to
if
be
I say
precise.
tell you something, okay, go pick up a can of, go pick up this bottle. You have to tell the computer exactly, okay. So if I actually go pick it up, because okay, I pick it up, right? But if you tell a computer that there's a lot of stuff that goes into it. For example, you have to tell it, okay, how do you pick it up? Okay, what I'm using? Okay, hand. All right. How do you pick it up? Okay, so first you move your arm up a little bit. All right, like up to this amount. Okay, then you move your arm maybe 15 degrees towards the bottle. Okay, then you move your hand down a little bit. Then you go
Wow.
down. Then you come up. You move it forward. Okay, all right. Like, so not too much. No, that's too far. All right, no. You got to bring it back a little bit. Nope, that this way. Okay, all right. Now good. Now okay, now close your fingers. Then close the first and left finger. Right, like this. All right. Okay, now this is the next one. All right, this like this. Okay, go close it all. Okay, now grip it. No, not you guys. No, that's right. Okay, I'll pick it up like this. Yeah, that's literally what it is. So
Nigel, I mean, he said that with so much passion and like love for the
Man, I
game,
love
man.
this. I love it. I love
Wow.
this. I love this. I
um,
love this.
So you have to be precise. You have to be
when
exact,
you
as
have
you say.
very simple motions like that, to get a computer to do it, it takes a lot of thinking, a lot of very logical approaches to do it, right? Artificial intelligence for that, like for example, is that's why artificial intelligence has such a big, massive improvement, right? Because what it basically involves is helping computers learn on their own, right? So, for example, just to kind of learn to do simple things like that, it requires very explicit instructions that a program has to give to a computer. With artificial intelligence, the main goal of that is to help computers learn and be able to emulate the intelligent actions that a human would take. So that's artificial intelligence. So it's not just about manually programming now. It's now getting the computer to kind of do these intelligent actions without having to do a lot of explicit instructions. Yeah.
Do you for as someone involved in the field, and we're going to talk a little bit about what you're doing currently and how you got to Thailand and all that, but what's your take on AI? Do you think that it's probably going to hurt more than it's going to help? Do you think it's something that's going to be welcome? Is it fearful? What's your take on AI?
Well, AI is definitely a destructive. Well, actually, first off, AI actually has always existed in one way, shape, or form for many, many, many years. It's just, for example, Google's used AI for the search engines for a very long time. It's kind of like how you're able to have autocomplete. Autocomplete, that's AI. The ability to do spelling and grammar check that suggested spellings, that's also partly AI. So it's always been around, but it's only now into recent times where it's kind of improved to a point where it's more pervasive. In terms of its disruptive capability, yes, I do think that it's going to it does have the potential to disrupt a lot of industries, but I don't think so in terms of how I don't necessarily fear it. I mean, in terms of fearing, in terms of my ability, my livelihood, I don't really fear it, because I always know that there's always, in one way, shape, or another, there's always going to be a need for some kind of programmer. There's always going to be, as long as a computer exists, there's always going to be someone who needs to maintain it, that needs to understand these systems. And just like it was with the internet, the people who are going to profit from it, or going to flourish, are going to be the people who understand the systems, that are able to work with them and integrate with them and really understand them. And the people that are going to be damaged by it, are going to suffer, are going to be the ones that are afraid of it, that are not really willing to adapt and explore and grow with the systems. As far as its impact on humanity, I think there is a likelihood that it will start to disrupt a lot of things. I think it's probably going to make a lot of some jobs irrelevant. But I think, and then in the end, it helps us bring a big question on humanity, on the value of humanity. Because for the first time, you have something that can potentially replace a lot of knowledge level fields, I mean, right, AIs right now, they can do my job, they can program, they can do a lot of these different things. But I think I think a lot of the people who are going to profit from it are going to be people who are able to own and manage these systems properly. But I think towards the end, it's going to end up bringing a big question on the value that people have on each other. Like, how valuable do you think people are going to be if you can find someone that can replace you? It's going to bring up a lot of questions about ethics and society and the value that we have for each other. And it's also going to cause us to really evolve our understanding of ourselves. It's going to help us evolve our understanding of how we treat each other, right? I think that's inevitably what's going to happen. And also going to think it's also going to help us how to help us learn how to use our own minds better, or how to treat each other better. So while I do think that it's going to end up, has the ability to cause a lot of harm, and I think I think eventually it's going to bring us back to ourselves. It's going to help us really start to put more value on each other, because I think currently the way the world is right now, I don't think many people, there's not a lot of value on human life and on human dignity.
Yes.
And I think that's to a point where we're going to be forced to do it. I don't think AI is threatening. It's a different type of existence. It's a different type of creation. There's certain aspects of AI that things that does very well, and there's certain things that humans do very well. I don't think there necessarily needs to be a conflict in that. And I think eventually, one way or another, we're going to learn that. Are we going to make a lot of mistakes doing that? Sure, certainly. There's going to be mistakes. There's going to be people that suffer, but I think towards the end, we're going to be brought back to ourselves, and we're going to be brought back to humanity, and we're going to be learning how to treat each other better, and we're going to be learning how to have a love for a common man. Yeah. So
Nigel, I love this connection.
But I also see the potential of something really good coming from it as well.
Nigel, that's a classroom session there. I'm really learning a lot, and and just the way the zeal, he brings this out with is just something else, man. That's remarkable.
It is, and
Wow.
I'm sitting here doing the connection with you and with him, and I feel so good about it. You know, I feel so good about that we have
And he
someone out there.
explains it in a way that you can understand,
Yes, yes, that's what I love about it,
and
man.
things like that. You'll hear a lot of technical jargon, but he is. I guess he's teaching a lot too, eh? Because he knows how to do it. 'Cause there are some
Yes,
people,
yes, yes.
they have all the knowledge, but to impart the knowledge is a difficulty for them. But
Mm-hmm,
it's just like,
mm-hmm.
wow, it's more the depth of his knowledge, it's like the breadth of
Depth
his
of
knowledge.
that's it, and how is
Yes,
it able to present it, you
yes,
know?
yes. Wow.
What about, because you mentioned like coding and programming and languages and so on. Is there a difference between coding and programming, or basically just interchangeable, or is there a difference?
Say that it's
That's my
mostly
question, Nigel.
interchangeable, right? So coding is the process of instructing computers, right? A language is the tool that you use to give the computer instructions. So actually, theoretically, a computer only really works on one language called machine language. It's basically zeros and ones. You ever like watch The Matrix with the little code that comes out of the
Right,
system?
right.
Right. So the programming language that we created basically takes it's like human. It's more of a human like language, but it's written in a way so that we can we can easily understand it, right? So what happens is that there's another language that is what happens is that once you write it in one language, there's a program that's run that converts that language into machine code, something that computers can understand, and then they run it from that, right? So it's kind of like a language above what the computer languages they understand that's made for us, because we can't really, you can imagine giving instructions to your wife or your kids and using zeros and ones. They wouldn't understand anything, right? So it's a benefit for us rather than a benefit from them. So one language you translate into machine code and the computers run it. Yes. Yeah.
Nigel, let's see what the book is saying. I'm enjoying this. Let's connect to the CCD family. Let's see what's happening on the book.
Let's see what our city family people are saying. So yes, so Glenda Shillingford says, when you love what you do, you'll speak of it with passion. Alvin Thomas says, excellent guest and a young man. Congratulations to Paben and his mom for raising a well-rounded young man. The importance of good parenting. Debbie Matthew, of course, is watching. Good morning to you, Debs, as well. Carl Kofi James earlier was saying, I know you're not easy, you might only swallow all your tongue. That's when you were trying to say good morning in Chinese.
Yes.
So, Kofi was warning you, be careful. Sandra Julian says, good stuff. Learning a lot. Winnie Green, Bourgeois, Ivos and Nigel, and the City family. Let's see, Jefferson Moyes is saying, that's a lot of knowledge. I'm very proud of this young man. Blessed good morning, everyone, from Lavinia Hill. Remarkable presentation on AI. Sensei Dominica says that. Remarkable presentation on what AI is actually doing and how it can help. Jennifer Coffey says good morning from Jacksonville. Adriana Henderson, my dear Addie, how you doing? Good morning. She said, "Well, you saw you and I even just making me laugh." Of
Nigel,
course.
have we had Jennifer Coffey on as a guest already? I'm trying to remember.
Well, we've had so
we
there's
sure?
two Jennifer Coffees. Yes, so we've had Jennifer Coffey.
Okay. So I'm thinking of
Jennifer. Yes,
all right.
yes. And then we have Jennifer Coffey, that other Jennifer Coffey from
Okay.
Jacksonville, always locked in.
Hi, Jennifer. That's family. Yes.
Yes. Pabe, you can call whenever you're ready.
Yes.
You know, Pabe.
Yes.
All right. Yes, you can call whenever you're ready. Just call Ivona. You have the number. Just call Ivona. We'll put you on.
Yeah. Nigel,
Okay?
just sit and listen to him. Seriously. I mean, the way he delivers the information. Seriously. I mean, to
the way he breaks down the information
to
and
digest stuff like that is not easy, But if you have someone that can impart that knowledge well and make you understand what they're saying, yes. So I guess
So let me ask you, Darrius. For somebody who's like, for a young person who's like very interested in computer science and everything else, and coding especially, just like a general thing, how would you go about like doing, like, if you want to create something? Do you have to write in the specific language so that it knows what to do? How do you do this?
Okay, well, first you have to define the problem. So you have to understand what is it that you're trying to accomplish. And from there, you have to have a clear understanding of how to do it. Typically, if you already have a grounding on a language, you think of it in terms of how the computer would be able to do it. And that's really where having a grounding understanding of computers and how they work through language instructions procedurally comes into play. And you typically learn that through your encounters with the first programming language. When you first learn a programming language, like a regular language, is when you kind of understand how the mechanics of how computers work and think goes. So you learn so you learn the principles of procedural based instructions, where the computer will follow a sequence of instructions one step at a time, and that where if there is a fault in the order of the operations, then it will cause different results. There is also repetition, so computers can iterate through repeat sets of instructions many different times. So you learn how to loop your instructions such that you can, if you need to do something 10,000 times, and you can know how to program it to do it that whatever amount of time. Then there's based programming, where basically it's like, okay, if this is true, if this situation is present, then you do this. If this is present, then you do something else. So there's also decision-based programming, where you make the computer do different things based on different conditions. So that's a combination of those things. That's the kind of the basics of it. Then there is then there's also from that point on, you have libraries. You have different sets of boxes or instructions called libraries that package a whole sequence of different steps into one thing that you can then ask the computer to do, right? So and then beyond that, there's also levels of abstraction. So there's something called objects that represent real world things or abstract concepts. So then basically it's a bit more complicated to explain, but basically.
Boy, Nigel. Nigel, I'm listening to him there, and I'm remembering when I had my first computer. Nigel, I wrote a prayer. I really thanked the computer for coming into my life. Seriously, Nigel, because remember back in the day how it was.
Oh yes,
man.
Oh, yes.
But so many years after, to hear this young man, just wow, he's so passionate.
Yes, man. And I mean that the whole thing of computers and computer science and everything has evolved over. I guess it's much. I don't say it's simpler now, but maybe they've made it in such a way that it's it's easier for us to be able to utilize.
Back then they programmed using punch cards. Like they have these little cards. You write the instructions out by hand, and then you give it to a computer. You give it to a computer operator, and you'd have to wait maybe a day or so, and to figure out if there's a problem with it. So all your instructions to the computer will be written on these cards, and it can be a stack like this high of all these instructions. And you give it to an operator, and you pray that there's nothing wrong with it. And then you wait a day, and you come back and like, oh crap, there's a mistake here. And you have to go back and figure it out figure out what went wrong with it. Eventually it evolved to a point where you don't have to write them in cards. You can now put it in stored program in memory, right? And then there's an evolution in programming languages where you have languages that kind of represent other concepts at a higher level. So it's less work for you to kind of figure out how to do it. It's just, So it keeps evolving in that point. And then there's different programs that are written to help people write programs themselves. And then there's other newer innovations in programming languages and in libraries and frameworks that allow making programs much easier, right?
So we have a call on the line. It's an overseas call. So let's just take this call. Hello? Connecting the dots. Bonjour. What? Hello?
Good morning.
Hey! Good morning. How are you?
Mr. Sarah, I'm okay. I'm Nigel, good morning.
Hey, good morning to you. Good morning to you.
Your nose get longer.
Mr. Sarah, good morning, sir.
Good morning, Father.
He always says that good morning.
Just on, I wanted him to wheel and come again.
No, that's all. Yes, that's the.
I'm not gonna take too much of Darrius' time, because it's his time, his moment to shine. But I just want to congratulate him on his achievement, and I must say that Darius has been such a great kid, man. Sometimes, he was born, And I don't know if I ever told you, but I'll give you that story. I was at McDonald's one time. His mother was working at McDonald's, and I went to pick her up. So he and his brother, as he previously stated, that he's a twin side, he's the second of the twins. The other brother born first, and then he born second. Yeah. So I went to pick up his mom together with his brother. He was about 3 months or a little, maybe 4 months or so. Little kid. If he's pacifier, he loves his pacifier. So I had my bunch of keys, and the boy for all he even put my keys in his mouth. So I take the keys and I throw it across the table. The boy watched me. He took his pacifier, sent it next to the key.
Wow.
Send it next to the key, and get on the table, going to get his pacifier. When he is next to the thing, he looked at me, I turned my face. The boy grabbed the keys,
Wow. You want to program it.
From there, you from there.
So from there, I say he was something.
He saw the buttons on the key. So he had to program something.
He sent the keys next to
He was programming that already.
Yes.
Yeah, man. So, and Darrius have been through a lot. Yeah, I think Darrius have had about 2 surgeries, and I never forget that one weekend, Friday, he wasn't feeling well, so I took him to the doctor, and I had to go to work on the weekend. So Saturday, his mother told me when I came back home Saturday, his mother said he wasn't feeling too well. So Sunday morning, I get up to go to work, and while in my room, I heard Darrius bawl, "Daddy!" I said, "What the hell is going on there?" I dropped everything, and I took the boy straight to Broad General. As soon as I reached to Broad General, the doctor said, "You have a very, very, very sick child on your hands. So I'm going to have you sign the paper, so if anything happens, we're not responsible." Something like that. So I signed the paper. They put the boy in a bathtub, and they tell me just pour water on that boy's head. Next thing, the boy was diagnosed with severe case of pneumonia. So I almost lost my kid in my hands, not knowing.
Yeah.
I almost lost my kid. And Darrius and I, we build a special bond, because anytime he's sick, whatever is me not there with him to take him whatever. I used to, and like on Saturdays, he didn't tell everybody. I had a special program on Saturday mornings, Saturday science. You had to go every Saturdays. You had to go to class. If I'm not available, I would pay a girl named Deborah Matthew or Oslin Alexander. I would ask them to take him for me, and not pay them, but ask them to take him for me, So while I'm in Dominica for Carnival, it is my night there. I would I would go to Saturday science. One time I got really upset with him because he didn't tell you that, but he in that magnet school he graduated as a valedictorian. And the kid that got the valedictorian, he was helping the kid to do his work. So I say he helped the kid, and he helped the kid, and the kid. I say you give the boy your knowledge,
So he was a salutatorian.
But I was still proud. I was still proud that he was a valedictorian, and as he said, he got a full scholarship. And one of the amazing things is that you talk about the discipline factor. Julian John was better than Spratt, my cousin. He was in Dominica. He was at my house one time in Miami, and I left Darrius, which is his twin brother, which is also a computer scientist too. Darrius is a computer scientist too. He lives in California, and when I came back, Julian said, "But what kind of children you have? What kind of boys is that? What's going on there?" I said, "What happened, Julian?" He said, "The boys wanted juice in the fridge." And because he was the bigger person there, the grown up there, they came and asked him, "Can we go in our fridge and take some juice?" That's the level of discipline that this kid, and the mother is a sweet. I mean, she and I broke up as he said, for personal reasons, and we are best of friends. But when you hear a delicate mother, Mary is a wonderful mother. No matter what anybody say, whether she's a wonder, she love it. She Mary life is her children, and I love that about her. She cares about the children a lot, So Darrius, I just want to encourage you, And Darrius could also speak Spanish, fluently, write Spanish fluently. Darrius was about 16 years or 17 years or so. And it was Christmas time. He said, Dad, I want to go to Costa Rica. I said, boy, you madman, boy. Costa Rica? Yeah, he said, Dad, I'm interested in that scientist, in that Spanish thing, you know. I said, boy, we don't know anybody in Costa Rica. We don't know anybody there. Oh, he said, I made contact with some people, and they're going to host me. They're going to take care of me. So, yeah. So I said, you know what, Darrius, you want to go? Darrius, you want to go? I trust you 100%. I know you're going to take care of yourself. And the boy went for the entire Christmas season and came back doing good, you know.
Always determined.
Next thing he tell me, Daddy, I want to go to China and stuff. I said, Darrius, but who you have in China? He said, I don't know anybody, but I made contact in China, and I want to go to China. I said, Darrius, boy, China. That's halfway across the world. He said, Daddy, trust me, I'm going to be all right. So I said, if you want to go, son, you have my blessings. And that boy don't know how much I long to see him, man. I long to hold him, I long to hug him, because he and I had a real sweet relationship. And one of the things that amazed me the most about Darrius is that when Darrius started working, Darrius called me. He said, Dad, I need your account number so I can put money in your account. I said, no, Darrius, it's your time. If I need something, you'll give it to me, but you don't have to put money in my account for me. So Darrius, I'm very proud of you. I love you a lot. You know I love you. You know your mom love you. You know your brother love you. You know your granny Lena and the rest of the family love you a lot. I'm proud of you. Okay, Darrius? Darrius, just take care of yourself and be good. Okay?
Well, Nigel.
Yeah,
I love this part of the program. Thank you so much, Paben. Thank you. I sense you're crying as well. You crying, man, Paben?
Yes, this is the other side of Paben. Of course,
this is deep. This is
profound.
Yeah.
Proud father, man.
Yes.
Proud father who's done his job.
Thank you, Paben.
You know, Paben, take a bow, man. Thank you for raising a wonderful young man, and of course his brother as well. You know, and your other sons that you have that you bring raising just as well. You know, so congratulations, take a bow, man. Darrius, this was your dad, man.
Yes, I know.
And the connection between the both of you. I know he says, you know, he hasn't seen you for a while because, of course, you've been in Thailand for the last 7 plus years, or 8 years in Thailand. Man, that was a nice moment there.
That was really touching. That was the highlights of the conversation. I enjoy the way, you know, he talks about what he's involved in. But I mean, for that personal touch of his father, yeah, that's voila for me. But Nigel, so very soon we may end because obviously your outside broadcast coming up soon.
We have the outside broadcast.
So let me just ask Darrius though, tell us about your line of work. What do you provide? Because I take it that you have a robust skill set.
Yes. Right. Well, currently I can do many different things, but currently I'm working as a web developer. I develop web pages, web pages for businesses and individuals that need to have some kind of web presence. I built simple web pages for businesses or people that just want to have information about themselves online, about their business and about what they do and things like that. I've also built entire web applications that does specific tasks for people. So for one of the things I built in recent years was a language learning application for an individual here in Thailand that helps people learn how to read Thai. I've done that. I've worked on previous companies. I helped build a language translation system. So it's basically a tool, a feature inside a web translation tool that helps translators who want to translate text from one thing to another to do that as well. Currently in a company I'm working at here in Thailand. I'm working at an American company that's based inside of Thailand. I'm a full stack web developer. So that basically means I can do front end stuff. I can implement this visual designs on a web page, and then I also do the back end stuff. So I can build architect entire systems. I can fix bugs inside of it. I can help deliver new features into the application, into the website. I can do it encompasses a whole bunch of different things that about web pages, of websites that things that are seen, that you can see visually, like the images and the designs and things like that, but also the stuff that goes beneath it. So the stuff that's you can't see that that are needed and actually deliver it onto onto the web. So I do kind of
Nigel, this is definitely a robust skill set. I mean,
Yeah,
you're doing all of this, Nigel. Wow.
yes. It's been, I mean, as a computer scientist to be able to do all this and doing it in Thailand. What's it like in Thailand? Just overall general vibes. What's it like?
Thailand is very peaceful. It's a very peace-loving, friendly place to live. There's a very good reason why many people who want to retire there. It's as a whole, the country is full of people that value, community. They value social harmony. They're people that like to smile. They like to be friendly with other people. They're very respectful and they have a lot of regard and respect for authority and hierarchy. So they do whatever they can to make sure that everyone is comfortable, including the people foreigners that live there. So yeah, in terms of businesses, there's a lot, like I mentioned before, there's a lot of the urban areas in Thailand. There's a lot of people. There's enough people that are around there that speak English. So that just goes to show you that you can get a lot. There's a lot of people that can get along who don't speak a lick of Thai. That can get along and live there just fine because there's always someone around that can speak English. And then so it's a very, very, very comfortable environment. There's a lot of the things that you're used to, like in America and things like that. You'd almost certainly find something like that in Thailand. Like so I live in Chiang Mai. It's one of the famous cities in the northern region of Thailand, the Chiang Mai province. And so you can say that there's different American equivalents of different things. So for example, Walmart. Walmart, right? Walmart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They're kind of the equivalent of Walmart here. There's something called Big C, right?
Okay.
And then there's Whole Foods. There's another one called Rimping. There's another thing like that. And then there's Home Depot. There's Home Pro. There's different equivalents of it stuff here. And they have restaurants. They have McDonald's and things like that. So I mean, it's very comfortable. It's a very modern part of society. You find very comfortable there, and people are almost very friendly. I mean, honestly, one of the nice things I really like about it is that you can leave something. They can leave a wallet. You forget your wallet on the table. You come back an hour later, it's still there. You can say that ever in another country where if you leave your wallet there or you leave your key, it's gone. It's gone, right? It's almost likelihood that if you leave something, you'll always find it there. There's very little theft. I mean, of course, theft does happen. It does happen, but
right.
It's that you have that,
I know you.
So
Okay, so you were born in Florida. I know it's culturally diverse there, but did you ever experience a little culture shock when you went to Thailand?
Culture shock?
Did it ever?
Not as much culture shock as what I experienced when I was in China. No.
Oh, okay.
But very comfortable there, yeah. And to me, I guess in terms of culture shock, I guess it'll just be in the way in which things are handled. In Thailand, they're very big on non-confrontational communication. So you don't want to you don't like if you try to push for something in an aggressive way or try to be more over confrontational, a bit angry. It doesn't really. People don't really feel, they get shut down very quickly by that. They're not a culture that really likes to be around angry people who express anger.
Peaceful and loving.
Whenever you're angry about something, the usual preference is that they usually try to hide it. They try to avoid conflict. They try to sweep issues under the rug to try to make it so that people are happy or this social harmony. So whenever there's a problem where you get angry or they're yelling at them, it usually doesn't go very well, So that's one thing that you want to know. So so being overly aggressive and confrontational, they don't really respond very well to that. And you find you have a whole bunch of problems. You try to push for something or you try to be aggressive, and that's just not how they like to do things. Yeah. So yeah, that's one thing.
Being in Thailand, have you had the opportunity to see any other Dominicans there? And if not, do you tell people about Dominica?
Unfortunately, I haven't really encountered too many other Dominicans here in Thailand. I'm definitely sure that there are there, but they've not made themselves known to me. Yeah. But yeah, I'm confident that there is something, people from the Caribbean here. Yeah.
Do you tell them about Dominica? Do you share the Dominica with them? If you call
Um,
it,
Well, my colleagues, whenever they ask me, the people I work with, whenever they ask me about, my country, where I come from, I do tell them that, my parents were from Dominica. They've immigrated here, and that's my culture. That a lot of most of my parents come from there, so I do tell them about that. Most of them have never heard about Dominica. They always come in. As you know, they always confuse it with Dominican Republic, right? So they're always kind of interested in learning about it. I have to tell them, okay, this is where no, South Republic. This is where Dominica is. Like it's in the chain of islands right here between Guadeloupe and Oaxaca. A small island here. That's where it is. Yeah, and they never heard about it. They're always kind of fascinated by I guess mostly because I guess they're fascinated with me in general. But yeah, most people don't really know about it. And in fact, actually, I'm surprised that only a very few people even identify that I'm even from the Caribbean. There's only every now and then there's one person that says, "Oh, I hear in your accent. I can hear a little bit of Caribbean in your accent. Oh, you're from there, aren't you? Oh, really? Yeah. Oh, I know. Like, yeah. So yeah, I do find able to pick it out, but sometimes it's someone from another Caribbean, but almost rarely it's probably another like an Englishman or someone else from that. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah, to say yeah, I'm definitely positive there are people there. I mean, from the Caribbean there, but they've never really told me that. They never really made itself known. Actually, before I came on the program, I was looking for at if there's like any restaurants from Dominica or Caribbean restaurants. I did find that there is one restaurant that's there, but it hasn't really been very popular. But for the most part, your best chance of finding any kind of Dominican cuisine would be like at fusion restaurants, like fusion foods, things like that. Yeah, but like in terms of restaurants and things like that, you find there's all sorts of offerings there. Because Thailand is very big on opening themselves up and being hospitable to people. So you find all types of foods and cuisines there from Japan and from China and from different Western-based foods, and I think there's actually a Jamaican meat patty restaurant here as well that I've eaten at a couple of times. Yeah, so yeah, and then of course the best time if you really want a restaurant here, you can just come to Thailand and start one. So
I love that.
Yes, Nigel, we have to end soon, but just quickly though,
yes.
Darrius, are you still into martial arts? Do you do that still, and music?
Yes. Yeah, I still do it. I practice a smaller form, it's more of a flowing form. It's not necessarily based on a particular style, but it's more about movement and kind of flowing of what I feel like doing. Kind of like it's more spontaneous. Yeah, so I do still do practice it.
Wonderful.
And a musician as well. You still dabble in music?
Dabbling in music? Not as much as I did before, but I'm working on getting back into it more fully. Yes.
And you're still a masseuse? Because as I said, I read a lot about you last night. So
really, you learn about that?
Yes.
But where do you find the time for all of this though? When you're so involved in this, as a web developer?
No, it was just spontaneous. It was just a desire that I had at the time to kind of go do it. When I was in China, when I was coming here on a visa run, and that was when I first experienced the joys of Thai massage, and I said, okay, this is something I'd really like to do. So I just did it, and I did have some opportunities to practice it when I was on certain people here or there. In terms of if it's something that I really still do so much of it, not really, not as much as before.
Okay.
There's not too many people that have a luxury of practicing it, so it's just mostly been I don't really do it too much. But yeah, I've always thought about what it would be like to actually go and take the studies further. Yeah, but it's not.
I almost feel like Darrius is like a global citizen, man. He's lived in China, he's living in Thailand, he's here in the US. Of course, Dominican by parentage and been to Dominica. Is almost like a global citizen, Yes. Oh yeah, Alvin, as you mentioned that. Yes, I know Albert Panman Bellops. Actually was in Thailand. I'm not sure if he's going back there. That's a Dominican there. Who works in the U.S. His wife is a U.S. She works with the UN, United Nations. So that's a Dominican who lives in Thailand. I know he's on vacation. I'm not sure if he's going back to Thailand. But that's the Dominican there in Thailand.
Nigel,
as a matter of fact, I will connect with him after and connect with him.
Nigel, here's what Alvin is saying as well. I'm not sure if you read this one. I was kind of busy trying to hook up with the broadcast. And he says, Nigel, we need to get him to present to the young men in high school in Dominica in the area of career choices. But he said, let's start with the AMS.
SMA, yes. No,
yes,
I would love for that to happen, you know.
I said the AMS.
I know we have to end soon, but Darrius, I mean, you know, again, congratulations, continued blessings on what you're doing, continue representing, you know, your parents in such a way as, you know, doing what you're doing and staying focused and always accepting that Dominican part as well. You know, we appreciate that connection, even if you were not born there, but you feel Dominican, which is great. It's one of the things we like to encourage our kids who are not born in Dominica, but have Dominican parentage, that they continue to have that connection, you know. So I know it's almost 10 p.m. right now. Next day, 10 p.m. what? 10 p.m. Saturday, yeah?
Yes, that's
Saturday night, 10 p.m. right now in Thailand, but you're here with us doing this, so we really appreciate that. You know, what do you do to relax, man? Because you're always working. What do you do? Do you go to the beach? Do you go to the club? Do you just read? What do you do?
I do a lot of meditation and reflection, you know, contemplation.
Good.
You know, I do study. I just look into study stuff of interest. But you know, like for example, I was learning more about Thai culture and just kind of connecting it with my own knowledge from that to my own experience and kind of understanding people a bit more. Like thinking about more deeper the philosophical stuff about life and things that I understood. I also like thinking about that. Apart from that, I am a bit into motorcycling.
Okay. Be careful out there. Make sure you have the helmets and everything else.
Yeah, I have that. I have. Don't worry. I have everything.
Wonderful. What do you tell to what advice do you want to give to young men, to young people, not just young men, young people in general? What advice do you have for them? What would you like to share with them?
Yeah, well, my advice is to find the time to be a bit more courageous and find the time to do the things that really call to you. Like I know that a big part of society is trying to balance what you want to do, what really truly calls to your heart, with the practical stuff like working and making money or making time with family and things like that. I know it's a really big conflict that people have, especially those who are in the arts and in music. You know, they always have to balance the money, the what you want, your passion with what you're trying to do. Yeah. I always spent my entire life. And I've spent my entire life trying to wrestle with that myself, you know. Yeah, I want to go to these different places, but okay, but what about the money? You know, what about the practical stuff? How are you going to eat? How are you going to live? And I've taken them. My travel started because I took the courage to deciding to step into the unknown and to wrestle with that and trust in life, trust in God that it'll work out for me. You don't really have to travel the world to do that. You know, it just really takes the time to really believing that you're worth it. You're worth the effort and investing yourself in doing these things. And you know, I think that's the best message that I give to people is to be a bit more courageous and actually looking into doing these things like that. Again, you don't have to go travel the world. Maybe it's just taking time to go and look at a new place or doing an activity that you've always wanted to do, but you always found excuses not to do it because of other obligations. It's just these little things like that that really call to you, that really enrich your life. You know, don't think that you can't do it. There's always a way to do it if you put your mind to it, and if and more importantly, if you feel like you're worth it. Yes.
Advice.
So that's the message.
Well, Nigel, yes, we have to end.
Yes.
As I said, we have an outside broadcast. I could sit and just listen to him, you know. And
I know.
Seriously.
Thank you, man, Darrius. And thank you to your brother as well.
Noreen said, Nigel, Noreen Joseph Fabian had a crying.
I know, right? Yeah, but as you leave, I guess you want to shout out some people, Darrius, that you probably might not have, you know, seen or heard for a while. You probably want to tell them hi as we end up.
Yes, I'd like to say a shout out to my family in Dominica, the Pinards, the Pinard, my mother's side of the family, also to my father's side of the family. I know that there's been people. I know that I've only met you guys. There are only twice in my life that I really had an opportunity to interact with you. And once was when I was 3 years old and I was attending school in Massac, the preschool. And another time when I was in before I started my university. That was really where I had a really closely contact with them. So just from here, from Thailand to Dominica, I just want to say hello. I want to say thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for supporting me in the sides, in the background while I'm off doing my own things. And I wish you guys the best of luck in your life. And I wish you guys success in what you guys decide to do.
Well, thank you for agreeing to be, guest on this program. We really welcome your participation. We learned a lot, Nigel. So we have some homework to do, right? We have to listen to this again and try to follow some of the things that he taught us. And
definitely so. Definitely so.
I could sit.
And as you say goodbye, how you say goodbye in Thai?
It's easy. Sawadi krap.
What?
Sawadi krap.
Sawadi krap. So it's the same word you use to say hello or hello. It's the same thing to say goodbye. Sawadi krap.
Okay, Sawadi krap. Ivona's going to practice, and then next week she'll give us some of that. Yes.
Chinese is Zai Tian.
Zai Tian.
Zai Tian. Yeah.
Zai Tian. I have work to do.
Yes, you have work to do.
But I am going to learn.
Yeah, that's it.
I'm going to put my mind and I'm going to learn. I think we got to go. Thank you.
Whatever the mind can achieve.
Yes.
Whatever the mind can achieve.
Appreciate it.
Yes. Okay, Nigel, but we really have to run. So we
yes,
have not said run.
Go get
Thank you so much, Darrius. Thank you so much for everything. And Nigel, we'll have to link up with him again, and
Yes, we do. I'll tell you of a special program that I'm.
Nigel, you know what we need to do?